when I spoke to yan po yung sinasabi nila na we really need to help the film industry for many reasons. No? That's why we want to get to the bottom of this. But we know that many things are still beyond our control, but we want to find ways in terms of incentives, in terms of certain legislations that can push for helping our local industry. Dahil ang dami pong issues, for example, with the increase and advent of streaming. As we know, Netflix just released their 2026 lineup. What is going to happen to our local content producers? Paano po natin ma-preserve ang culture and heritage ng ating mga Filipino stories and how to present our stories on a global stage? On top of that, we have the advent and the increase of artificial intelligence. No, I think Actor made a statement on how we can protect intellectual property para sa ating mga Filipino artists, mga creatives. So we really want to get to the bottom of this. In between the two resolutions, we will undertake substantive deliberations on 4 major legislative measures that aim to reshape and strengthen the film and audio sector. So today we will be deliberating on House Bill number 384, establishing a framework for film and television tourism and creating an interagency committee to maximize the economic and cultural value of film content. House Bill number 1697, creating a film and media production incentive program, declaring special film economic zones and positioning the Philippines as a filmmaking hub in Asia. House Bill number 4454, proposing the creation of a Philippine Film Commission to promote and support the long-term growth of the film industry. And House Bill number 4728, likewise proposing the establishment of the Philippine Film Commission with defined powers and institutional mechanisms to strengthen governance and coordination within the sector. In fact, this House Bill, I think, was proposed by FDCP, actually. So we're looking forward to having deliberations and a statement from the FDCP later, as well as with their resource persons. So taken together, these measures reflect the comprehensive approach. We celebrate arts, investigate structural challenges, we're reforming institutions, enhancing competitiveness, and positioning the Philippines strategically within the global creative economy. So our discussions today are therefore not isolated conversations. They're interconnected efforts to build a coherent, sustainable, and globally competitive creative system, consistent with the mandate of Republic Act number 11904 or the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act. So I encourage everyone to be constructive, solutions-oriented deliberation, and I do want to say that this is of, I think, prime importance, not only because our local industry demands it, but also because in our ASEAN neighbors, sa totoo lang, pag kinakausap ko ang mga content producers natin, they say, bakit malayo na tayo sa Thailand and sa ibang and other neighboring countries na tayo dapat yung mas closer to South Korea. No? So we really need to find ways to save and then hopefully propel it to the ASEAN stage and then when you get to the global stage. No? So with that, let's proceed with our agenda. Okay, so wala meeting. Do I hear a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and to approve the same?
Mr. Chair, I move to dispense the reading of the minutes.
Okay. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. There being no objection, the minutes of the previous committee meeting are hereby approved. So we now proceed to House Resolution number 747. So this is sponsored by yours truly. It's a resolution recognizing the significance of the 2026 Arts Month and expressing the commitment of the House of Representatives to protect, promote, and develop Philippine arts, culture, and creative industries. So I'll just read my sponsorship speech really quickly so that we can go to the deliberations. I rise to sponsor House Resolution number 747. The 1987 Constitution is unequivocal in its mandate. The state shall foster the preservation, enrichment, and dynamic evolution of a Filipino national culture based on unity and diversity, and shall promote arts and letters as expressions of national identity. In 1991, through Proclamation number 683, President Corazon C. Aquino declared the month of February as National Arts Month, an enduring recognition that the arts are not peripheral to nation building but central to it. The year's theme, Ani ng Sining, Giting at Katotohanan, could not be more timely. As we live in an age of rapid technological change, artificial intelligence, contested narratives, and shifting social realities, in such times, the arts serve as a compass and conscience. Artists interrogate truth. They preserve memory, they provoke dialogue, and they create meaning. So through this resolution, the House of Representatives affirms that the arts are pillars to national identity and democratic discourse, that artistic freedom must be protected, that artists and cultural workers deserve sustainable and meaningful support, and that all members of Congress are encouraged to actively support Arts Month initiatives in their districts. Statement: the House stands with Filipino artists not only in celebration but in protection and partnership. Having sponsored this resolution, is there any member who wishes to move for its adoption and approval of the corresponding committee report?
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt the resolution, House Resolution 747. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. It has been moved and duly seconded. There being no objection, House Resolution number 747 is hereby adopted, and the corresponding committee report is approved.
Mr. Chair,
yes.
I request that all present be included as co-sponsors.
Yes. Thank you, Kong Manas Nograles. All members will be co-authors. Thank you. Hereby approved. Okay, so we now proceed to the agenda, the measures listed for deliberation. Okay, let us begin. The chair now recognizes the author of House Bill number 384, Representative Arjo Ataide, to deliver his sponsorship speech. Rep. Ataide, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, honored guests, good morning. There's a unique kind of pride that every Filipino feels when our country appears on the global screen, because the world does not merely watch a film, it sees the Philippines. And when the world sees us, the world becomes curious about us, our culture, our traditions, and our people. Film and television possesses a remarkable power. They do not simply entertain. They inspire movement, they influence travel decisions, they shape perceptions, they transfer locations into destinations. This bill recognizes that power. This proposed measure establishes a comprehensive framework to institutionalize film and television tourism as a strategic tool for national development. Currently, global competition for film productions is intense. Countries around the world offer coordinated support systems, tax incentives, and simplified processes to attract productions. If we do not position ourselves competitively, we lose not only filming opportunities, we lose tourism, employment, infrastructure development, and international exposure. Film tourism is one of the most cost-efficient forms of destination marketing. A 2-hour film can market our landscapes for decades. In the age of streaming platforms and global distribution, exposure is no longer seasonal. It is constant. Beyond tourism, the bill champions Filipino talent. It opens doors for our artists, technical crew, creative professionals, and local service providers to participate in international productions. It strengthens our domestic film industry while elevating our global profile. Distinguished colleagues, this is not merely a cultural initiative. It is an economic strategy, it is an employment generator, it is an investment promotion tool, and it is an opportunity to tell the Filipino story on global stage. The Philippines has always been camera ready. What we need now is a system that ensures that when the camera rolls, our people, our communities, and our economy benefits. For these reasons, I respectfully urge the swift approval of this measure. Let us transform every frame into opportunity and every story into national growth. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much, Representative Ataide. So the floor is now open for discussion. The committee now will solicit the opinion of our invited guests. Members who wish to be recognized may please signify. Okay. One by one. Okay. So let us have the sponsorship speeches first, and then we will discuss afterwards. So again, thank you, Rep. Ataide. Now the chair recognizes Representative Miguel Luis R. Villafuerte for the sponsorship House Bill number 1697.
Well, on behalf of Kong Luigi Villafuerte, I move that the explanatory note of House Bill 164 be its sponsorship speech.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Ataide. So now the chair recognizes the author of House Bill number 4454, Representatives Ramon Jollibee Revilla III, Lani Mercado Revilla, and Brian B. Revilla for their sponsorship speech.
Mr. Chair, I also move that the explanatory note of House Bill 4454 be entered into our records as the sponsorship speech for this House Bill. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Repco. For House Bill number 4728, the chair now recognizes the author of this House Bill by Representative Rufus Rodriguez for his sponsorship.
Mr. Chair.
Sir Chair, I move, in behalf of the distinguished sponsors, I move that their explanatory note be taken up as the sponsorship speeches. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Hernandez. So now the floor is open. The committee will now solicit the opinions of our invited guests. Members who wish to be recognized, again, may please signify. So just a recap, it is House Bill number 384, House Bill which is an act establishing a framework for film and television tourism in the Philippines, creating an interagency committee on film and television tourism and for other purposes, otherwise known as the Film and Television Tourism Act. We have House Bill number 1967, an act establishing film and media production incentive program to attract foreign and domestic investments, declaring special film economic zones and positioning the Philippines as a filmmaking hub of Asia, otherwise known as the Philippine Film and Creative Production Incentives Act. You have House Bill number 4454, an act to promote and support development and growth of the Philippine film industry, creating for this purpose the Philippine Film Commission, defining its powers and functions and for other purposes, otherwise known as the Local Film Industry Development Act of 2025. I believe this was filed last time, so we can adopt it as 2026. But in House Bill number 4728, an act to promote and support the development and growth of the Philippine film industry, creating for this purpose the Philippine Film Commission, defining its powers and functions and for other purposes, also known as the Local Film Industry Development Act. Okay, does anyone want to begin to make a statement or opinion on any of these? Maybe we can start, in that order of the House bills. But yes, Representative, Ma'am Villaluna, you are now recognized.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, members of the House. I'll be reading the position paper of the FDCP. So the Film Development Council of the Philippines convey its sincere appreciation to the Honorable Congressman
Javier Miguel L. Benitez, and honorable members of the House of Representatives, particularly the Special Committee on Creative Industries, for their sustained commitment, time, and leadership in advancing legislation that strengthens the Philippine film and audiovisual industry. The Council is deeply grateful for Congress' continued support, which has enabled the FDCP to complete its long-term industry roadmap, an important milestone that now serves as a strategic guide for the sector's growth and global positioning. The position paper is about House Bill numbers 4454 and 4728, which is basically creation of the film economic zones. So with the completion of the roadmap, of the Philippine film industry roadmap, the FDCP respectfully seeks Congress' steadfast support in using this framework as the blueprint for elevating and expanding the Council through the creation of the Philippine Film Commission. With that, we respectfully submit to the committee the FDCP's proposed version of the Philippine Film Commission bill. We will be submitting it after this session, anchored on this, which is anchored on the roadmap, which is designed to broaden and institutionalize support to a wider range of film and audiovisual stakeholders, including creators, producers, distributors, exhibitors, digital platforms, regional filmmakers, and allied creative workers. So the FDCP expressed its full support for the objective of institutional strengthening embodied in the proposed measures, as reflected in House Bill numbers 4454 and 4728. And the elevation of the FDCP into Philippine Film Commission presents an opportunity to modernize governance structures, ensure sustainability, and expand development support in response to the rapidly evolving audiovisual landscape. For the specific comments on Section 3 of House Bill number 4454 and Section 4 of House Bill 4728 concerning the composition of the Commission, the FDCP respectfully recommends, based on its operational experience, that a large number of Board of Commissioners have shown that a larger board is significantly more difficult to convene, particularly when members are drawn from multiple agencies and sectors with competing schedules and mandates. This often results in delays in achieving quorum and in making time-sensitive policy and funding decisions. A streamlined board promotes administrative efficiency, ensures timely deliberation and approval of incentives and programs, and strengthens accountability by clearly defining responsibility within a similar decision-making body. In an industry where production timelines, international co-production windows, grant cycles, and festival deadlines are highly time-bound, institutional responsiveness is critical. In this instance, the FDCP proposes the reduction of the provisions that the chairperson shall be based on the list of nominees submitted by the regular members. The removal of the chairperson by the Commission is also proposed to be redacted as the chairperson is appointed by the President. Hence, the removal from the office must not also within the powers of the President. Furthermore, the FDCP proposes that the Philippine Film Commission be envisioned as a grant-giving and incentive-administering body. A large number of private sector representatives on the board may create structural conflicts of interest, and under standard governance and ethical rules, it is recommended that membership restrictions be put in place to it. Membership restrictions. During their term as a member of the Commission, a member shall not be eligible for any grant or such other financial aid from the Commission as an individual, provided, however, that they may compete for grants and awards on the same level as other artists 1 year after their term shall expire. An expanded board composed of numerous industry representatives would, in effect, bar a substantial portion of key stakeholders from accessing Commission support, potentially unintentionally limiting participation and diversity within funding programs. A smaller board with limited private sector representation ensures a meaningful industry voice while minimizing systemic conflicts of interest. It preserves fairness in grant distribution, protects the integrity of funding decisions, and presents concentration of influence within a narrow circle of industry actors. It also reduces the risk of regulatory capture and maintains public trust in the Commission's impartiality. In addition, a lean governing body strengthens strategic direction, setting at the policy level, while operational and sectoral consultation may continue through advisory councils, technical working groups, stakeholder consultations without embedding all representatives within the board itself. This model balances inclusivity and efficiency. For these reasons, the FDCP proposes a 7-member board composed of 5 ex officio members and 2 private sector representatives. This configuration ensures quorum efficiency, interagency coordination, balanced representation, ethical governance, and decisive institutional leadership necessary for a modern development-oriented Philippine Film Commission. The FDCP likewise recognizes the importance of ensuring that proposed legislation is fully compliant with existing jurisprudence. So the Supreme Court in FDCP of the Philippines versus Colon Heritage Realty Corporation at GR number 203754, November 30, 2020, declared unconstitutional sections 13 and 14 of Republic Act number 9167 or the FDCP Charter, which provided for the diversion of amusement tax revenues from local government units to the FDCP. So the court ruled that such diversion violated the constitutional principle of local fiscal autonomy, emphasizing that taxes levied by LGUs must accrue exclusively to them. In light of the Supreme Court ruling on sections 13 and 14, we recommend removing sections 14 and 15 of the proposed House Bill numbers 4454 and 4728, which substantially replicate the amusement tax reward mechanism. Retaining these provisions may expose the proposed Philippine Film Commission to constitutional challenge and create uncertainty in its funding structure. In addition to the amusement tax reward provisions, the FDCP respectfully notes that all sections pertaining to the Cinema Evaluation Board in the pending House bills would likewise no longer be viable and should be omitted, as these provisions are structurally anchored on the incentive framework invalidated by the Supreme Court. Instead, the FDCP would like to introduce other funding mechanisms, including the establishment of a Film Industry Development Fund, to wit, Film Industry Development Fund. So the Film Industry Development Fund shall be used to augment the Commission's appropriations for programs and activities. The Commission shall be allocated 5% of the revenue from the value-added tax on film-related digital services as provided for in the Digital Service Act. Structured incentives and grant programs. The Commission shall develop and provide incentives for qualified local and international productions to encourage production of film in the Philippines. The Commission shall develop and provide grants for qualified Filipino filmmakers to encourage the production of quality films. And next is access to credit and financial instruments through government financial institutions. So these mechanisms are designed to ensure sustainable industry support without encroaching upon LGU fiscal autonomy. The FDCP also proposes expanding the Commission's scope to cover web series and streaming platforms, recognizing the industry's digital transformation. It strengthens preservation mandates through the Philippine Film Archive, supports audience development initiatives, encourages international market participation, and promotes the establishment of film economic zones. These provisions reflect the roadmap's comprehensive approach to industry growth, from production and distribution to preservation and global competitiveness. The FDCP respectfully submits that the elevation to a Philippine Film Commission is not merely a structural reform, but a strategic expansion guided by the industry roadmap. It institutionalizes long-term planning, widens stakeholder support, enhances regional outreach, and positions the Philippines as a competitive audiovisual hub in Asia and beyond. The FDCP reiterates its deep gratitude to Congress for enabling the completion of the Philippine Film Industry Roadmap, which we launched November last year, and for prioritizing this key legislative reform. The Council respectfully seeks the unwavering support of the House of Representatives in adopting the roadmap as the foundation for the Philippine Film Commission and in advancing a measure that is efficient in governance and development driven. We will be submitting a copy of this position paper, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Villaluna. Let's just tackle that one by one before we go to next opinion of another resource person. So, as you mentioned for Section 3, that is the composition of the members for House Bill number 4454 and 4728, which is essentially the Film Commission. Because as it was proposed, we have the commission composed of a chairperson, 17 members, which are 8 regular and 9 ex officio. Now, so just for everyone's information again, that the 8 regular members are 1 regular representative of the Directors Guild of the Philippines, 2 regular representative of the Nagkakaisang Manggagawa ng Pelikulang Pilipino, 3 regular representative of the Moel Fund, 4 regular representative of the Actors Guild of the Philippines, 5 regular representative of the NCAP, which is National Cinema Association of the Philippines, 6 Academe, 7 local film producer, 8 regular independent film cooperative. So those are the 8 regular members. So, and you're proposing 5 regular members, correct? Who do you want to retain and who do you want to add?
Well, definitely the Film Academy of the Philippines, because basically they oversee all the guilds. So the inputs from the guild members could be captured by the Film Academy of the Philippines once they sit during board meetings or when the board meets.
So Film Academy of the Philippines, okay. Who are the 4 others?
Department of Trade and Industry.
DTI, okay.
And right now we have the League of Cities of the Philippines. I think it's still or the DILG. It's essential that they are part
DILG.
of the board.
Those are ex officio members, ma'am. Okay, so let's just review again the ex officio members. So the 9 ex officio members, as proposed in the House bills, are number 1, Secretary of Trade and Industry, or the duly designated representative. 2, Secretary of the DepEd, or a duly designated regular representative. 3, Secretary of the DOT, or the duly designated representative. 4, DFA, and as follows: 5, DLG, 6, DOF, 7, FAP, 8, CCP, 9, NCCA. So, as mentioned in the House bill, there are 8 regular members and 9 ex officio. So, Ma'am Villaluna, you were talking about the ex officio members.
Yes.
So, you mentioned earlier that your proposal is 5 members and 7 ex officio. Am I correct?
7 members of the board, 5
Okay.
ex officio, and 2 from the private sectors.
Okay. So 7 ex officio.
And 2 from the private sector.
2 from the private sector. Okay. And how many regular members? But before that, of course, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of Representative Lani Mercado Revilla of the 2nd District of Cavite. Ma'am, thank you for coming. For timing. We were talking about the Film Commission representatives and board members.
The 7 actually is the total number that we are proposing.
Okay, sige ma'am. So 7 total members. And how many regular, how many ex officio?
The ex officio is 5.
Ex officio is 5. Okay.
And then 2 from the private sector, which would be from the distributor
private
and
sector,
exhibitor side, and then the other one is filmmaker or the producer.
Okay, and what is the FDCP recommending for the regular members? Do you want them to be retained? Because if that's the case, then we retain 8. You're saying retain 8 and reduce the number of ex officio members from 9 to 7. Correct?
Basically, we're just recommending only 7 for the whole composition of the board.
So no regular members?
Yeah, no.
Okay, I see.
So
Okay, so just to be clear, you're taking out all the regular members and reducing it by the ex officio members from 9 to 7. Okay, out of the 9, who do you retain and who do you take out? There's 2 that you need to take out from that number, or change if you're whichever you're proposing.
The NCCE na kasi si NCCE is under So for our proposal, since 7 members, 5 ex officio and 2 regular members from the private sector. So for the 5 ex officio, it's going to be representative from the DTI, DOT,
Okay.
DepEd, NCCA, and LCP.
Sorry, LCP, League of Cities of the Philippines.
Philippines.
Okay.
And then for the regular members,
So you're taking out DFA, DLG, DOF, FAP, CCP? Sorry,
yeah.
for the regular members, right?
yes.
No, sorry,
because-
ex officio. So you're taking out DFA, DLG, DOF, FAP, and CCP.
It's because
Okay.
in the Film Philippines, the Film Philippines office would still be an attached agency to FDCP, or if it's going to be a commission to FDCP, and that the Film Philippines office has its own board, which would also compose of those DOF and
Okay.
other crucial government agencies,
Okay.
basically for funding support and for international coordination. And
Okay, and the 2 private members, who do you recommend?
filmmaker or producer,
Okay.
that's one, and then the other one is distributor or film exhibitor.
Distributor, or okay. All right. And then when we go to the terms, you are suggesting to retain the term of office, which is a term of 3 years for all of them.
A maximum of 6 years. They can be reappointed for another 3 years.
So 3 to 6 years. Can you define, maybe give a number? It's 3 to 6 years. You mean it's open for deliberation, or what is your proposal? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years? If you say 3 to 6 and you say it will be determined, it might be vague if we make that proposal. Kasi magkakagulo, ano ba, 3, 4, 5, 6, or...
For the term of office of the chairperson and the 2 regular members shall hold office for 6 years
Okay.
unless sooner removed by the president, provided
Okay.
that they shall be eligible for reappointment after the expiration of their respective terms. Provided further that no chairperson or member shall serve for more than 2 terms, and in case a vacancy occurs before the expiration of the term of office, the appointment to such vacancy shall only be for the unexpired term of the predecessor. And then in the event the chairperson vacates the office due to death, incapacitation, or removal for cause, the board commissioners shall elect an officer in charge among the members pending the appointment of a new chairperson.
Okay, so 6, and then upon review of the chair or the president.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. So you also mentioned earlier about a fund. You mentioned the fund for Film Incentives Development Fund. So I do want to ask about. Let's go to sections 13-14 muna before we go to the fund, because that's an alternative funding. No? So the FDCP Charter for Amusement Tax Reward Provision. So I believe, there's a Supreme Court ruling for this. So to clear of any potential liabilities, I do agree that it should be taken out. Okay, but before we get there, I'd also want to open it up in case does anyone have any questions about the composition of the film commission. Do we agree with the 9 or the 7, or do we have violent reactions to add or take out others? Okay, if there's none, okay, we'll proceed with the section 13-14 muna. So, yeah, acknowledged na. Okay, so I agree with taking out section 13-14 to protect the Film Commission for any liabilities. For the funding, I do want to ask for the Film Incentives Development Fund. I know the previous Congress approved this for funding of 5% digital service VAT, no? That's supposed to go to the PCIDA Fund, so Philippine Creative Industries Development Act Fund. So what is your opinion of the funding for this? Do you believe that it should have an Film Investment Development Fund, FIDF, or should that go to the PCIDA, which will then designate allocations for the FIDF?
Our concern, if it's going to be downloaded to PCIDA fund, is that we are competing with other creative sector. So it's it depends on the guidelines that would be created or issued by DTI with regard to that. So it would be more advantageous for us if there would be a separate film fund for FDCP
Okay.
or the film
Yes.
fund.
Okay. Well, if I were FDCP, I would also make that fund. You know, but okay, I believe those are the three main concerns, no? Okay. Open to deliberation. Anyone have an opinion on this? Or are there other ones who also do want to make their position and statements clear?
Mr.
Yes,
Chair, I
Kong
suggest
Baños.
that we hear the positions of the other guests as well.
Okay. So, does anyone have any other positions, papers, or statements? Yes. Recognize DG Villaluna.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to the committee. We're really grateful to be invited and be part of this discussion. As a new government agency with the mandate of professionalization, welfare, upskilling, and recognition of our audiovisual workers, the new Film Academy is truly honored and humbled to share its insight regarding House Bills number 384, 1967, 4454, and 4728. Offhand, we fully welcome the creation of a film commission that will entice foreign productions in the country. In the interest of avoiding redundancy, ensuring streamlined public service and the effective use of public funds, the Film Academy would like to inform the committee of some programs currently mandated and undertaken by our new agency. In reference to House Bills 4454 and House Bill 4728, Section 6, number 5, this is in reference to upskilling and training programs. In reference to the program, the new Film Academy is currently running its Real Vision, Real Change, and Real Data programs that actually ensures that we are at par with global standards in reference to craftsmanship, behavioral, and ethical attitude and innovation. We are willing to share our calendar with the relevant agency commission if required. In reference to House Bills 4454 and House Bills 4728, Section 6, number 14, in reference to the welfare programs, the new Film Academy is also mandated to provide support and welfare to our workers. We're going to launch in March the FAP Crew Care in coordination with MOEL Fund and PhilHealth to provide welfare support to our audiovisual workers once they're part of the National Skilled Workers Database. Our industry support includes Sini Sandigan, the legal support for the film industry that includes grievance reporting, industry dispute resolution, and consultancy services. In reference to House Bill 384, Section 4, G and I, and House Bill 1967, Section 9, which both reference to the National Database of Workers, it's actually part of our mandate to professionalize the film industry and guide its worker guilds and association. The new academy is actually launching the National Skilled Workers Database of skilled, vetted, and certified audiovisual workers in March 2026 in Baguio as part of the Luzon-wide Guild Summit. The database will have a baseline group from the existing databases of FDCP, MOEL Fund, and accredited guilds. The database will be a public registry of vetted and accredited film workers. This will ensure that producers, both local and foreign, have access and can vet the professionals they hire. The database will include the worker's profile, job proficiency, filmography, and other relevant information. The Film Academy is willing to link this with the new commission pending consent with the stakeholders. We truly appreciate the opportunity to share our insights in the creation of what could be a landmark bill to help our screen industry. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Director General Villaluna. May I ask if there anyone from our resource persons who do want to say their positions? Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, we would like to express our extreme gratitude to be invited here for this meeting where the House Bills 384, 1697, 4454, and 4728 are being taken up. The Cultural Center of the Philippines has long been a proponent for the development and improvement and progress of Philippine film as part of its mandate. And we are very happy that initiatives have been taken by our distinguished representatives to push for further developments and legislation addressing various issues covering the film industry. We noticed that the coverage of the various bills actually overlap, and as mentioned earlier by the chair, House Bills 4454 and 4728 were actually part of the initiatives undertaken by the CCP 2 Congresses ago. And we noticed that the bills have stayed in their form when they were first presented, but these have been overtaken by a number of events. Some of these have been mentioned by the other resource persons. Among these, the Supreme Court decisions in FTCP versus Colon and FTCP versus the City of Cebu and SM, and also the passage of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Council Act and the resulting film roadmap, as well as the new issuances that created the new Film Academy of the Philippines. In this regard, while we do support and find that the bills intend to help and provide incentives to the film industry, we humbly suggest that perhaps a technical working group can be convened to harmonize the differing provisions so that the overall intention of helping the film industry can still be achieved by the bills that are being taken up today. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis Marasigan of CCP. Actually, sir, gusto ko rin sabihin na with the NCCA bills, I think ang Senate is ongoing as well. And the previous meeting po natin with the Special Committee on Creative Industries, the NCCA has also endorsed bills. No? So we're hoping to tackle them soon after this so that we can fast track many of the pending bills, especially with the CCP. So thank you so much for your position for that. But before I go to the next who will give their position, I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Rez Cortez, President of the Mall Fund. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah. All right. So I saw MTRCB. I believe you do want to say your statement or opinion on this. You're hereby recognized.
We will just read from our position paper. Good morning, Mr. Chair, and good morning to the members of the committee. We express our gratitude for being included in deliberations surrounding bills involving the creative arts and furthering the Philippine film and media landscape. We believe that our involvement with these bills aid in the board's review of materials as much as it allows the MTRCB to assist in uplifting the Philippine film and TV industry. On House Bills number 4728 and 4454, the creation of the Philippine Film Commission, we believe that the creation of the Philippine Film Commission will strengthen the local film industry. At present, and from the constant dialogues we've had with the Film Development Council of the Philippines, we know that one of the major challenges in expanding Philippine cinema locally and internationally is the lack of viable support and incentives in producing good cinema by global standards. The creation of the PFC may better address these issues in the future. Perhaps also one of the issues this bill may encounter is the slight overlap of some of the PFC's function with that of the Film Academy of the Philippines, the latter under the Department of Trade and Industry being mandated to professionalize and support the welfare of film industry workers, while the former would likewise be mandated to address the working condition of such workers in coordination with the MOEL Fund and nagkakaisang manggagawa ng pelikulang Pilipino, which is under Section 6, paragraph 14. in our conversation with DG of FAP, we recall that their office offers a grievance desk for industry workers to endorse their concerns with the Department of Labor and Employment. It may be beneficial to likewise include coordination with FAP and or the DOLE in monitoring the workers' condition in light as well of the Eddie Garcia law, which is the MTRCB, is a tripartite council member. Contemporary Filipino cultural values, as it is indicated in our mandate, the Presidential Decree number 1986 is one of the primary litmus tests used by the board in reviewing films. Although we welcome the proposal in the bill that the PFC's grades shall be given due weight by the MTRCB under the bill's Section 13, we stress that the board will primarily apply its mandate in reviewing films submitted to it for review. Despite this, however, the PFC's gradings may be considered in our review given that the Commission Cinema Evaluation Board is expected to be composed of notable and prominent people in the film industry who would be in a position to suggest whether a film's contemporary values would meet Filipino audience sensibilities. The MTRCB supports these bills. With the reorganization of the FDCP to a full-fledged commission, the PFC would be able to develop extensive incentive systems and programs which would encourage filmmakers to produce more quality films competitive enough on a global scale. Thank you. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Mindolano. Thank you so much, po. I'd like to just go back to Mr. Dennis about sa TWG. Sir, if okay with you, dahil ang last po namin na meeting nag-TWG po kami, pero na-realize po namin na syempre siguro lahat ng representatives, they have also their own siguro committees to attend to, etc. And since yung committees, most likely yung TWG kami rin. If I may direct siguro the COMSEC to consolidate, and then for the next meeting we can take it up for deliberation instead of making a TWG, if okay with you.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Den. Salamat.
So, Mr. Chair, clarification.
Yes.
So, pursuant to the suggestion of Vice President of CCP, Mr. Marasigan, that we consolidate the 4 bills since they are more or less similar in nature as these bills, 4 or 5 bills rather, 5 bills because there's an additional bill.
Yes, with the additional
This
bill.
all espouses the advancement of the film industry as well as that of the audiovisual landscape of the country. Although I've noticed that there are major differences because in the 2 bills it speaks of the independent agency that reports directly under the Office of the President and Congress, while the 2 other bills, the other one is under the, both of them is under the Film Development Council, and the other one is Film Development Council and DTI. So those are among the major differences between the 4 bills, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
So now, there is a suggestion that we create a technical working group, but the chair suggests that we just refer it to the secretariat to decide on the matter. Is that right, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Kong Bansergales. I think these are different in a sense that yes, under the DTI and one is under the president.
Yes, because all this, I think this aspect has to be thoroughly considered. Yeah.
Yes. So just moving forward, I think for TWGs, it seems that it's difficult to
Yeah.
really
I understand
request-
the predicament of
Yes,
the chair.
predicament.
Yeah.
So we note that stark difference. So it will be consolidated with the COMSEC and us, and will be deliberated in the next meeting. Yes. Yes, Representative Lani.
Yes, just a quick inquiry. There is a standard setup as of the moment with regards to FDCP and the Film Academy and the DTI. What works now and what works well? Sa tingin ko, yun yung dapat nating malaman. If it's working well right now, then if it's in coordination with the Office of the President, or if it's with the Department of Trade and Industry, what would be appropriate? What's working well? Probably our resource persons can answer.
Any resource persons who want to comment on this, whether which works, this current setup or the proposed setup for the Film Development Philippines Office, or with the new creation, the Film Commission? Yes, yes, Ma'am Villaluna.
So for FDCP, currently the setup is we are under DTI but oversight function. So in terms of our budget, we defend it separately to Congress. We just provide them our reporting and guidance as well on what they plan to do with the creative sector. I think it works well with us because we don't have to compete with other sectors of DTI in terms of getting funding. FAP has a different scenario from us because they are also attached to DTI, but their budget, I think, is getting
Okay.
get it from.
Sige, thank you, Ma'am Villaluna. DG Villaluna, do you want to comment
Okay,
on
thank
this?
you, Edie. Hello, ma'am. Mr. Chair, thank you. We are, like FDCP, we are an attached agency under DTI. However, because we're really new, the administrative support is under DTI. However, we're already going to be granted from DBM our UACS number this year, which means we'll be sending our budget directly to DBM by 2027. To be honest, it is seeing the government protocols now, it's kind of easier to be independently under the Office of the President because of all the requests, procurements, and it's so difficult for the cultural sector. The nuances are totally different. We're talking here of trainings and imagine bidding out or getting a national artist as HTC. So it's kind of it's difficult. So there we do prefer a setup where it's separate.
And thank you for that, DJ. Actually, Rep. Lani, gusto ko i-share, I think si FAP, I remember in our consultation, delayed talaga yung budget ninyo, but you found ways to have your activities. So, buti na lang meron ng direct sa kanila with DBM. But that's a great inquiry, Rep. Lani. Do you have any siguro,
Well, actually,
comment
that's the
about
reason
this?
why I asked the question. So, to whom they should really report to? Kasi importante yun eh. Pag may kailangan kayo, medyo matagal kapag Office of the President, magandang independent talaga sila as a unit, as a department, or as an agency for that matter. So, we'd like to consider to whom they would be directly reporting to, since it's a consolidation of the 4 or 5 bills as of the moment. So, it was a good move for the President to include the Department of Trade and Industry to assist the film and movie industry. Kasi gumanda actually yung takbo, as I have observed. Ang kailangan talaga nating itulak yung pagbibigay ng incentives when other foreign film productions come into the country. At least we could promote our country. Incentives in terms of rebates or tax incentives para mas makapag-generate tayo ng trabaho, which is more important to our country. So we're hitting two birds with one stone. Department of we promote our sites, we give employment, we develop our industry both in film and on television.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Lani. And going back to Rep. Shirley, ano kasi ito merong film commission that is being discussed, but there's also an incentives program, which is the Film Philippines Office, which supposedly is what will deal with all the incentives for economic zones, etc. So, and at the moment, separate pa yan. No? So, I guess the question is, will that be folded under the Film Commission? Or will that be another separate agency? Or what? So, yun yung pinagdi-discuss. So, yun. Just to clear that out again. Yes, Rep. Arjo.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, that was my concern also. After this bill, I think moving forward, it is towards the incentives that we have to really work towards close to. Kasi that's one of the biggest problems being in both industries. Incentive is one of the biggest problems. So definitely, I won't tackle it here, maybe in the next committee hearing that we have, but definitely that is already down the line process. We'll look into it, Mr. Chair.
So again, thank you so much, Rep. Arjo. And I know Quezon City is doing really well with film. So it seems that anong pwedeng zones ang yun yung pinagdi-discuss attracting foreign domestic investments for incentive programs for an economic zone. So I think PEZA is here. Is PEZA here? May you please siguro enlighten us about has this been done before? Is it part of certain PEZA zones? What do you think of this? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the side of PESA, for now, we don't have a special economic zone dedicated for this kind of industry. If you will allow me, sir, to read our initial comments, especially on House Bill 1967, which deals with that.
Please proceed. Yeah.
PESA conveys its full support for House Bill 1967, recognizing its crucial role in promoting the country's rich cultural heritage, diverse natural landscapes, and the growing pool of creative Filipino talents. PESA recognizes and commends the laudable intent of House Bill 1967 to promote the Philippines as a global center for film, television, digital content, and post-production by attracting international investments, boosting tourism, generating employment, and showcasing Filipino talent and natural beauty. These objectives are all aligned with the declared policy and mandate of PESA to promote investments, generate jobs and exports through countryside development, as further recognized by Administrative Order Number 81, Series of 2019, entitled Accelerating Rural Progress Through Robust Developments of Special Economic Zones in the Countryside. Time and again, we have witnessed how economic zones act as catalysts of economic change and progress in the areas where these special economic zones are established, transforming these sleepy countryside municipalities into vibrant communities and pockets of economic development. As to the proposed House Bill 1967, we have comments on Section 5. While the proposed cash rebate of up to 25% is financially attractive, the mechanism presents a bureaucratic hurdle that may diminish its utility for foreign investors and film producers. The process of claiming, verifying, and disbursing the rebate inherently involves a significant time which investors may not possess or willing to commit. The lengthy administrative and auditing process required to secure the financial rebate payment, including complying with post-production documentation, completing financial audits on qualified Philippine expenditures, and navigating the Philippine government's disbursement cycle could force production company personnel, such as line producers or finance managers, to remain in the country for months after filming concludes. For a foreign producer, the potential loss of personal time and associated operational costs incurred while waiting for the rebate to be processed easily negate the financial benefit of the incentive. Too much paperwork and regulatory complexity are disincentives for foreign investors, similar to adverse experience in tax refunds. On the incentives, we recommend that the proposed incentives under Republic Act 11534, known as the CREATE, as amended by Republic Act 12066, known as the CREATE More, the proposed incentives be harmonized with the Create and the Create More. On Section 7, we commend the authors in using the established expertise of PESA and the DTI to develop the creative production zones and putting importance on and incentivizing green filmmaking, which aligns with the Philippine government's commitment to environmental sustainability. However, we find ambiguity regarding the green filmmaking incentives. Criteria must be clearly established to ensure consistent application and compliance. The provision is silent on who is entitled to these green incentives, what the precise qualification criteria are, and the specific benefits being granted. On Section 8, on the creation of the Film Philippines Office, this presents the creation of yet another IPA or Investment Promotion Agency simply to manage the intended CPZ or the Creative Production Zones, which will not only create additional layer of bureaucracy and huge initial and annual budget subsidy to maintain the administration and operation of this CPZ, but will likewise lead to duplication of the function and mandate of PESA on the establishment, operation, and management of ecozones, which PESA has proven to have consistently and efficiently performed over the years. However, notwithstanding the above the discussions, we wish to respectfully express that our honorable legislator we consider taking advantage of the PESA administrative framework under RA 7916 or the Special Economic Zones Act of 1995, the PESA Charter, for the establishment of the proposed CPCs under House Bill 1967. We believe that the administrative process in the establishment of the proposed CPC following the PESA framework under its chapter, the Republic Act number 7916, is very relevant, effective, and sufficient for the purpose. Your Honor, we will be submitting our final position regarding House Bill 1967. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Mark Rubio. No? Yeah, thank you so much. Just a quick, siguro before you, we want your position on this, but can you please enlighten us why, what is the current incentives and actually where are the zones located? What are the incentives, and has there been any investment for either domestic or international? Is it working now? Because you mentioned the PESA has been consistent and performing, so it seems that you're saying that adding a film services office for incentives per se will add bureaucracy. So I wanted to see, is it working? Where are the areas? What are the incentives, and who have been invested? Who have invested in these areas?
Your Honor, the industries currently being regulated by PESA is more on engaged in the manufacturing industries, agro-industrial, and also the IT BPO.
Okay, so sir, wala pa talagang for film?
Wala pa.
Kasi na-mention mo kanina meron eh. So,
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, Rep. Arjo, yes.
Yeah, sorry, incentives. What incentives are you talking specifically, Attorney Rubio? Sorry.
Right now, Your Honor, the fiscal incentives being granted by the government is regulated under by the Create and Create More. It's more on income tax holiday, 5% special corporate income tax. There's enhanced deductions, but zero rating. It's all whether under in our country there are several economic zone authorities. PESA is only one of them, but the incentives being granted by all these economic zones authorities are the same, and they are what are provided for under the CREATE and the CREATE More law.
Okay, no offense. It sounds like it exists, but it doesn't. So I guess moving forward, we'll also discuss this more, look into it. Attorney, if you don't mind, can the committee ask for your position paper as well? It would be very helpful to move forward, correcting everything that we can, or maybe help you regulate it more to give the incentives, because as far as I'm concerned, no international film has picked the Philippines over any neighboring Asian countries for all reasons. And this is the first thing that I'm very concerned about. I said the Philippine tourism already moving forward because economically it could really help so much and give so much jobs and opportunities. And I think this is the next step. So we'll work close together, sir. What do you call this? I'm expecting a better incentive and better way of enticing all foreign countries, not just in film, in the creative industry itself. So yes, sir, if you could just send us a copy and we'll be glad to help you out with the process and regulation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We will submit our final position paper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
thank you, Rep. Yes, Rep. Shirley.
Mr. Chair, just a clarification. I understand that there are already existing PEZA zones in the entire country. But the creative production zone, hindi pa po napapaloob doon. And that is the intention of the bill. Tama po ba?
Yes.
So, in Section 7, there are 6 cities included. So may I know, Mr. Chair, of what is the intent of the bill? Whether to include creative production zones in all PEZA zones, or is it limited to those mentioned in Section 7?
Okay, so Rep. Shirley, the person who drafted and filed for this, Rep. Villafuerte, is currently not here. But I don't want to assume the intent of what the representative is with this, with certain cities, etc. But I think what we have to discuss is, which I think it's a valid point, is it going to be applied for all the PEZA zones? Is it
Yes.
specific for cities? And then I know that and then what incentives, I think Rep. Arjo hit the nail on the head, which I agree with that, is ngayon wala pa talaga eh. So baka hindi nag-working incentive, something that we should be able to work on. Kasi nandito sa proposal is cash rebate of 25%, composed of 20% base rebate for QPE, additional 5% bonus for productions that feature Filipino cast and crew exceeding 60% of the workforce. Shoot in underserved provinces or heritage sites to promote Filipino culture locations or historical narratives in their storylines. That's A. B. Value-added tax. C. Duty-free importation of production equipment for an initial period of 12 months. D. Fast-track one-stop online film permitting program managed by the Film Philippines Office. So, yun yung incentives ng bill. So, the question is, are these enough? Will this, actually, marami, going back to, are these all going to be applied to all the zones? Are these going to be in specific areas? What incentives are for all zones? What incentives are for specific areas? And whether this will be a separate office or under or amended for the PEZA Charter. Yan. If that makes any sense. Yun po yung points of deliberation po natin.
Then, Mr. Chair, just
Yes,
for the
Rep.
consideration, I've noticed also that in those mentioned cities, these include cities in Luzon and Visayas. May I suggest that we include also a city in Mindanao? And since I'm here, may I suggest also General Santos City?
No, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Dapat may Mindanao, yes.
Yes.
The creative and cultural heritage ng Mindanao, napakaganda po. So, well noted, Rep. Shirley.
Thank you, Mr.
For
Chair.
consideration, we'll add General Santos. And I believe, to be fair, also we should also look into Mindanao as but highly noted for General Santos po.
Yes, there is a debt.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Rep. Shirley.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Mr.
Attorney
Chair,
Mark.
may I just add po, for the consideration of the committee, the concept of a special economic zone under the PESA Charter is that it is a presidential proclaimed area whose metes and bounds are defined. It is an enclosed economic territory. And what we regulate, it is a proclaimed ecozones, and what PESA regulates in terms of incentives are the companies locating inside. So I think the committee should take into account if an area should be, if a special economic zone will be created, who will be the industries who will locate there and who will be entitled to the incentives that will be granted under the proposed House bill.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Mark, for that. Well taken, bro. Anyone? Yes, Ma'am Villaluna.
Mr. Chair, based on what FDCP is currently doing, we have two types of, we have the incentive that we are providing, meaning the production incentive. That's for foreign producers who are shooting in the Philippines. I would just like to be clarified as well if the creative production incentive or zone incentive is encouraging foreign investors to build studios and sound stages here in the Philippines and be provided with the incentives that are given through PESA, or the production incentives that FDCP is already currently doing?
Nakalagay dito, Villaluna, sa bill, is to designate and develop creative production zones. So these are for, yes, as mentioned ni Rep. Shirley kanina, mayroon nakalagay CAMSUR. The author of the bill is from there. In fact, Cebu, Bohol, Batangas, and Pampanga, wala nga po yung Bacolod or Negros doon, pero baka for consideration po ng committee, add na rin natin. But I think this should be in further. QC nga, wala, and Laguna. But it is really for plug-and-play sound stages, post-production hubs equipped with 5G connectivity, advanced digital infrastructure. Meron din na po nakalagay 5-year tax holiday for those who set up production there. And Tax Incentives Management Transparency Act, to be consistent with that. And merong ding for environment sustainability. I think this is just for import. That's what is put in the bill. So it seems to set up production. So whether that's to have a sound stage or what, I think what you want to be cleared of is mag-shoot lang ba sila doon or mas permanent location with the production. So again, I don't want to second guess I just, assume what what Rep. Migs Villafuerte is saying here, but it seems na production ang kanyang intent for the bill. So any other comments? MTRCB, yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you po. So, of course, the MCRCB support the creation of incentive programs and the declaration of special film economic zones in the Philippines. However po, we seek to inquire under the bill section 4, wherein the applicability of the said bill will cover foreign and local production companies. Should these production companies, especially foreign ones, should they be registered with any government office, or must they be registered in the Philippine office prior to starting production projects in special film economic zones? Also, perhaps it may be best stated in the bill, should this be the case, and to better regulate foreign production entities. There is also a room to fully enumerate the responsibilities of the Film Philippine Office, kasi parang wala pong qualifications ang Film Philippine Office in light of the gravity of its projects under the bill. So baka po pwede natin maano.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I think that's a good point na walang nakalagay na qualifications, whether that's for international and local. Any comments on this? Yes, Ma'am Villaluna.
For the current system that we have, the international producer has to partner with local producer, whether it's a line production or co-production for the incentives.
And I think if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I think there should be a Filipino cast, no? So I think meron bang qualifications? I mean, for how many and sino ba dapat doon? For cast as well as for production?
It depends on the program. Like, if it's going to a co-production grant, mas marami yung nire-require natin na may, pag co-prod, yung partnership or yung incentive na ibinibigay, may certain number of percentage dapat na Filipino component. Kapag line production, nagiging bonus na lang yung kapag may Filipino crew, kapag may cast, or may, yeah.
Okay, so that's what we have to harmonize also, no, with the committee for all of us also is, do we follow those or do they get exempted? I think yun yung tanong din. Okay, any other who wants to make a comment?
Mr. Chair, sorry.
Yeah, pardon, yes, no.
Be recognized. I just wanted to ask, is there anyone with us from BIR? Ayun po. Siguro, I would suggest,
Apologies,
Mr. Chair.
wala pong
No, it's
BIR,
okay.
but
For
we'll-
the next,
let's add them to, ano.
yes po, committee hearing, Mr. Chair, baka we could just add them since we're moving towards taxes already. I think it would be best to hear their side as well
Yes,
moving forward.
agree. Yep.
Yun lang, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Good. So next we'll add a resource person from BIR. So yeah. Yes. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'm Robbie Alabada, the Director for the Office of Film and Sports Tourism of the
Yes.
Department of Tourism. For the first time po, in the Department of Tourism, we are recognizing that film tourism is a key part of tourism activities here in the Philippines. And we have seen that film tourism before, they have not even mentioned Philippines in many films that were filmed here in the Philippines. And we would like to have this as a mark of films to be filmed here. And we want to encourage our foreign productions, when they come to the Philippines, they recognize our culture, they recognize our locations. And at the same time, we in the Department of Tourism view, when we look at Philippines as a location, we view the crew, the actors, as tourists. So it adds to the numbers, but at the same time, we see that films, actually, when they do it here, most of the expenses that they would incur would be on the tourism industry. So they're going to be staying in hotels, they're going to use the vans, they're going to use our destinations for their leisure, recreation, and at the same time, we would like to maximize the tourism industry's potential for such exposure din po sa kanila, hindi lang Philippines, but including their properties. And at the same time, we're looking at film tourism as a medium for film-induced tourism. So we would like Philippines to be, when they film here, to be known as Philippines. Right now, we have an American film in Coron, and they are going to feature Coron as Coron, not as Thailand, not as other countries, but as Coron. And this will hopefully induce people to, when they see such beauty in the landscapes of Coron, they will they will be induced to visit Coron. So for the Department of Tourism, we are working in tag team with FDCP po. So our mga foreign offices po namin, they get contacts on which films are interested to maybe come to the Philippines. Then ang FDCP po sa kami, we talk to them immediately because the Department of Tourism does not have actually the financial resources to provide incentives, and FDCP has them. But we also rely on our network because we have the foreign offices down to the tourism officers in the local government unit to produce din po assistance para sa kanila. So we can talk to hotels themselves, we can talk to the transportation, even the guides down in the local government units for such support. And we are also happy to have actually a collaboration already with DFA, BI, Immigration and Customs, and FDCP. So meron parang one-stop shop na rin na ginagawa po. sa ngayon. And for information dissemination, for Department of Tourism, it's marketing and promotion ang main na ano namin na function. We try to get itong mga film location scouts, and we handle them like a tawag namin doon FAM trip, familiarization trip, wherein we introduce to them the different tourist destinations, wherein it could become a setting for their films, mga location nila. So, right now we're doing a 3-year plan on film tourism, and we would submit it to the committee as soon as it is finalized. So, we support the House Bill 384 by Representative Atayde. I can only comment po on this bill because it specifically is focused on film tourism. So thank you very much, sir, and thank you for recognizing film tourism.
All right, thank you. I think that was enlightening. And yes, Mr. Rez, you're recognized.
Good morning. Mr. Chair, I would like to say thank you for inviting MOEL Fund. I'm Rez Cortez, the president of MOEL Fund. Dahil we've been lobbying for the past 20 years through the Actors Guild, MOEL Fund, and for the creation of the Philippine Film Commission. Dahil there are about more than 100 film commissions in the world, at ang Pilipinas ay wala pa ring film commission up to now. So, this is very much welcome na ang position namin sa MOEL Fund, sana makonsolidate lahat ng mga proposed bills na ito and makonsolidate lahat ng office that has something to do with film into one office, which is the Film Commission of the Philippines. At I would like to take this opportunity na magpasalamat dahil in my lifetime, I thought hindi ko naabutan yung mga pagbabago na gusto namin sa industriya. Like for example, yung approval ng Edgar Garcia Law at yung approval ng Philippine Creative Industry and Development Law. Kasama na rin doon yung pag-create ng bagong Film Academy of the Philippines at hopefully dito sa Congress na ito ma-approve na yung Film Commission of the Philippines. At that is very much welcome sa industry dahil matagal na kaming nagtitiis, matagal na kami naghihirap at dahil nga sa sitwasyon, pandemic and all of that, ay medyo bumaba ang income ng film industry, or we can say the whole creative industry. Kaya will support your committee, Mr. Chairman, and we're willing to sit down in a technical working group because we've been lobbying for this for 20 years. And we have a copy of that bill, of that law, the Film Commission law, and nag-transform na yan into a lot of position or phases na like kanina we were talking about tax incentives na yun ang kaya nagsumikat or na-develop ang Korean film industry because of the tax incentives na in-offer niya sa top 50 corporations sa Korea. And sa tourism naman, New Zealand, simula nung mag-shoot doon yung Lord of the Rings, tumaas yung tourism at nag-o-offer sila ng mga incentives or rebates. At I think we have all the research material, and I think your committee should look into this. yung mga film commissions in the world dahil maganda naman yung sa New Zealand, even Thailand, South Korea, and to think, South Korea, they have 2 film commissions, Busan Film Commission and Seoul Film Commissions. So, we can, pwede natin kopyahin, pwede natin pag-aralan, and maraming detalye na dapat pag-usapan na maganda at nasimulan na natin dito sa committee mo, sa term mo, Mrs. Chair, at we will campaign within the industry na suportahan at magsama-sama kami na maitayo or maitatag ang isang Philippine Film Commission na magsasama-sama ng lahat ng opisina na may kinalaman sa film industry or creative o kaya audiovisual industry. So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rez Cortez, for that, and guaranteed po that this special committee and this fast track film commission, I think all of us here want that as well, and thank you for pushing for that in the past 20 years. Ako, we have to set it up as soon as we can. Thank you. And when we talk about consolidating it, I think, which we've directed, the ComSec for this. What we will do is we will have, as mentioned at the opening, is we will have a public hearing for the film industry. Dahil there's a Philippine roadmap that was launched, and we want to also make sure we hear from all the relevant stakeholders so that we can have the strongest film commission. But that will happen as soon as we get a room. Once we'll approve it in this committee. If that's next week, that's next week. If it's in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks. But once we get that room, we will send out the invites right after this. So thank you so much. And it's very important na when we talk about yung pandemic to now, yung tourism, si Mr. Alabado, no? Sir, thank you. You mentioned it's the first time that the Department of Tourism is looking into film as a tourism economic pillar. Is that right?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Pagpasok po ni Secretary Cristina Frasco, she immediately had this office created. So we have the Office of Film and Sports Tourism. So for the first time po, naka-focus po tayo sa dalawang products na to.
And I know hindi naman first time yung Coron na may international company, no? Yeah. I hope the question, I think, for all of us, yung sinabi nga ni Reparto din kanina, and I'm sure the author of the bill for incentives is also looking forward, is how can we have more of that? In fact, I've been hearing, syempre, may Siargao na hopefully wanted to shoot there. Merong isa for pag desert kasi locally yan, Ilocos Norte, syempre ganun. I don't know where else sila Reparto, I'm sure yung sa industry shoots in, pero may mga designated na yan mga alam na namin dito we should shoot, etc. So the question is, siguro I want to ask you is, what do you think about this bill, yung sinabi ni Fin5 po ni Rep Villaverde? As you mentioned kanina, sabi mo, sir, na you had in mind for House Bill 384, but I hope we can get your comments for 1967. Do you think we should push for this zones, or do you think we should keep it open and strengthen the incentives? So, as you mentioned, you're doing it tourism, so I wanted to hear your comment.
Yes, Mr. Chair. For the additional information on locations, Philippines has been the host for more than a decade na ng mga Survivor series po. These are shows that are actually being made by different countries, especially European nations. So once they have the island na mga Survivor series, it's always in Philippines. So for the Department of Tourism, in terms of the special economic zones, we have TIEZA po. Okay. So it's under us, and it is also part of the Create More, and they have aligned. We are now looking into the SIPP of TIESA, wherein we are going to provide incentives for what FDCP was saying kanina, for the establishments of mga sound boxes. So we're going into the structures themselves, that if they're going to have etong mga production houses, etong mga film sets and sound boxes, TIESA can provide the incentives needed as aligned with the Create More.
So yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, hopefully ma-continue yung film tourism sa Pilipinas. And to the point na maging landmark, I think na-mention in New Zealand, I was able to visit there and talagang they say this is where it was shot, etc. Yung ibang Game of Thrones na kung saan, grabe, sobrang daming tao. It's one of the most, when you talk about Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, two of the most successful, franchises ever, no? So, I think, as you mentioned, Korea, Thailand are already like moving and having established places kung saan pupunta yung mga tao, nagpe-picture na talagang, I think we have some locally, but hopefully we can, push for more, and so that makabenepisyo yung local industry, and not only that, hotels, people who buy in those restaurants, etc. So hopefully we're looking forward to your plan, and certainly we want to hear your thoughts po sa film hearing next. So I know yes, for the DepEd, may we hear from you?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, honorable members of the committee. Magandang umaga po, and thank you for this opportunity. So with your permission, Mr. Chair, we'd like to read and share our position on the proposed bills. So while the Department of Education's purview is on curriculum and development, we see ourselves in a position to really support these measures, not just on the technical aspect of film production, but also in instilling, of course, love for culture and love for country, beginning with our learners. So the Department of Education formally manifests its support for the legislative intent of the consolidated measures aimed at establishing the Philippine Film Commission. DepEd recognizes that the film industry is a vital partner in the holistic development of the Filipino learner. We see significant synergy between the proposed Philippine Film Commission and the K-12 curriculum, particularly in fostering cultural literacy, expanding creative career pathways, especially in senior high school, especially because the creative industries has been identified as one of the priority sectors in the national workforce development, and we'd be very happy to support that through our Tech Pro program and curriculum in senior high school. But more importantly, institutionalizing media discernment among our youth. By institutionalizing a robust framework for the film industry, these bills provide a transformative opportunity to align our creative economy with the developmental needs of the Filipino learner. As we fully support the legislative intent of these consolidated measures, we humbly advise this committee that the department will conduct a deeper review of the technical provisions of the bills. Consequently, DepEd will submit a more comprehensive position paper in due time to offer technical comments and to ensure that the Act harmonizes with existing educational policies and standards. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sir Peter. And definitely, the Film Commission should have responsibility, and also for awareness and education in line with DepEd. I think when they were finalizing sa EDCOM, CED Carl was asking me, is there a committee report on how to have creative thinking from an early stage and to foster that? How do we instill cultural literacy? So I'm sure you're well aware of that, but I wanted to inform also the committee that it has been put in the for our education sector, but certainly sa implementation side, kailangan natin i-push yan eh. So for now, in Arts Month, may nagsasabi na yung, I think DepEd also does not have any more field trips sa mga arts and museums po natin. Sana mabalik po natin yan dahil even our teachers po should be aware sa ating cultural and heritage preservation efforts para sa ating bansa. And so hopefully we can have that with the DepEd. No? So okay, anyone else with position papers, opinions, want to speak? Sorry if okay lang, PAGCOR muna. Yes, attorney, may we hear from you?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Mr. Chair and esteemed members of the committee. On behalf of PAGCOR, we thank the Honorable Committee for inviting us to participate in these deliberations and for the opportunity to present our comments on the House bills. At the outset, PAGCOR expresses its general support for the proposed measures. We fully support the policy objective of strengthening and institutionalizing government support for the Philippine film industry. In reference to House Bills number 4454 and 4728, I believe under Section 20, on the provision authorizing the proposed Philippine Film Commission to secure funding from PAGCOR to subsidize the production of 30 films annually. While PAGCOR supports this objective of providing sustainable funding, we respectfully recommend that any allocation sourced from PAGCOR be charged against the national government's 50% share in the PAGCOR's revenues as provided under our charter. This approach ensures consistency with the one-fund policy and aligns with the funding mechanism and with the regular budgeting process. Subject to this consideration, we reiterate our full support for the proposed legislative measure, and we remain ready to work with the committee in refining the provisions. PAGCOR's formal position paper is currently under internal review and for approval, and we shall submit the same to the committee with the proposed wording for the provision as soon as it is duly approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any comments on this? When we say 30 films per year, how much is one film and times 30? It depends on the film po. No? So we're looking at, anyone want to comment?
Mr. Chair, to answer the question, an average full-length film would, a largely decent one would be between 10 to 12 million pesos. That's
about
average.
300 to 350 million from PAGCOR. Okay. For consideration of the committee. But certainly we need to find incentives and support for the Film Commission. Anyone else who wants to speak on their opinion? Yes, Attorney Kanya Veral.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Good morning and good morning, everyone. So we just want to put it on record on top of the position paper that FTCP read a while ago. And while we were talking about the incentives, we would also like to propose na these incentives would not just be limited to monetary incentives. So maybe we could consider exploring non-monetary incentives like how do we, or free access to public spaces so that when foreign productions shoot here, libre yung mga ganito, or whatever, however we could come up to that setup. Or also military bases, if we can open it. Of course, that is subject to further discussion, but it's also a good point that to be considered. Also, the assistance that we could provide every time lalapag yung the ease of doing business when foreign production companies come into the Philippines. So how could, aside from the monetary that we could give, the services, the very accessible services that the Philippines can provide. It's more than just the money that we are talking since medyo ano po tayo sa funding. And we would also like to reiterate the current collaboration with OST. So we would like to emphasize the byproduct of the Philippine tourism as a byproduct of the international production that has come here to shoot in the Philippines. And while we support, we hope that in the coming discussions, we maintain the operational clarity and complementarity of the existence of the Film Philippines Office and other agencies in the government. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Quick question. There's no current non-monetary for the film industry right now?
We have, actually. We are currently aligning with the different government agencies naman po. So we, with the endorsements and assistance if they can. But maybe if we could just institutionalize, and we are also currently doing the one-stop shop. We are coordinating with the different government agencies for this. But I think if we could legislate, it's a lot helpful.
So
for
with the
us.
film commission for, let's say, venue, no? That could be part of the one-stop shop process, so that it's a certain payment, and then they can use the venue instead of they come in with their production and cast, and then kailangan pa magbayad sa venue fee. Nangyayari yan anyway,
So,
top of mind. But
it's gonna
sige.
happen for they're just like, if we have a foreign production interested to shoot in the Philippines, they're just gonna coordinate with one government agency. Tapos si Film Commission na po yung makikipag-coordinate down the line.
Okay, thank you. Well taken. Anyone else want to comment? Yes, sir. Yes.
Experience ko lang, sir, as a long time worker sa industry. I am a director and I've been doing commercials in Thailand.
Sir, sorry.
Malaysia.
May we get your part of Mobile Fan po, no?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe get your first name. And last
My
name.
name is Don. I am a director, writer.
Okay, thank you po. Sige, please proceed.
Ngayon, I'm involved in a foreign production. And maniwala kayo, wala kaming nakuhang suporta sa gobyerno. Lahat ng permits, lahat ng mga kailangan, sariling sikap. And it has been a problem for the longest time. Ang kakausapin, production house. Hindi gobyerno. Pero pag gumagawa ako ng commercial sa Thailand, sa Malaysia, sa Indonesia, isang opisina lang ang pupuntahan ko. You wanna see Phuket? This is Phuket. You wanna see Chiang Mai? This is Chiang Mai. Isang opisina lang yon. Hindi ko kailangan pumunta ng Chiang Mai, hindi ko kailangan pumunta ng Phuket. Nasa Film Commission lang ako. Ngayon, yesterday nagka-problema sa production sa Coron. Hindi alam ng production ang gagawin. So may kinausap kami, emergency, the Hollywood people would need to go back immediately to the US. So wala kaming support. So naghanap kami, paano namin, wala nang flight from Busuanga to Manila. So kailangan lumipad ng 3 executives ng production pabalik sa Amerika. So naghanap pa kami ng private na mauupahang helicopter para sunduin sila kaninang umaga. Dadalhin sa Manila and then uuwi. Yun yung pinaka-problema natin parate. Kailangan ang production ang kakausapin, hindi yung gobyerno. Wala kaming suporta whatsoever. And then, the first commercials I did in the early 90s were from advertising agencies from Japan. Bakit? From October to February sa Japan, hindi na sila makashoot outside because of snow. As a commercial, pag gawa mo ng commercial, you do it in advance. You do commercials 3 months, 6 months, kung kailan mo sila kailangan ipalabas. So, yung ginagawa ko, kunyari, ang eksena ay baseball. Nagbe-baseball, yun ang storyboard. Dito sila sa Pilipinas, pupunta, dala-dala yung buong production, pati yung mga talents na hapon. Sir, we do it on our own. Wala akong kino-coordinate sa gobyerno kasi wala naman ako mapupuntahan. Pag kailangan ko ng tangke, ang kakausapin ko, general. Pag kailangan ko ng barel, ang kakausapin ko, general. Kailangan mo ng permit, pupunta ka sa PNP. Walang one-stop shop na matutulungan kami. So, yun na lang lagi ang problema. Hanggang ngayon, 35 years na ako, sir, sa industriya eh. Hanggang ngayon, I did a TV show, a travel TV show. Wala. Punta ka ng Department of Tourism, wala. You're on your own. Production lang ang magtatrabaho. Sana kasama sa Film Commission lahat ito. Ang PNP, ang Army. Pag kailangan mo sa Thailand, kailangan mo ng tangke sa shooting, may tangke. The Film Commission will provide the tanks, the coordination. Dito hindi. Kailangan may under the table ka kay General, pahiramin ka ng armored personal carrier. Sir, totoo itong sinasabi ko. Magsushooting ka sa Luneta. Marirealize mo, ay, ang ganda kung bukas yung fountain. O kailangan meron kang whatever para buksan yung fountain. Sir, totoo to, experience ko to as a director, as a line producer, for 35 years. Sir, ang hirap, kasi we're on our own. Ang hirap in the sense na, ang ganda sana kung merong one-stop shop, na yun na yung magko-coordinate sa lahat. Isipin mo sir, shooting kami ngayon sa Coron, magko-coordinate kami sa local government, sa barangay, from barangay tanods to the policemen na magbabantay to lahat, sariling sikap yun sir. Walang government agency na susuporta sa amin. From the ambulance to the safety to the health protocol, etc. Sariling sikap yan. Walang government support, zero. Experience ko yan, sir, 35 years sa production. Sir, tsaka importante, sir, wag nating kalimutan, in creating the Film Commission, sama natin yung welfare ng workers. Please, hindi pwedeng wala lang. Napaka-importante nun, lalo na sa utility men, yung tagabuhat ng ilaw, yung mga maliliit. Manapay, yung mga artista di kalalaki ng sweldo, pero yung ordinaryong worker, sir, mas importante sila kaysa sa aming mga direktor. Yun lang po.
Direk, thank you so much for sharing that. No, I hear your frustration with the system. Ako, grabe, yun yung narinig ko rin sa iba, but hearing it again, grabe, I'm sure we all can feel and hear you. Pasa na natin tong Film Commission na strengthening, alam ko, in a production, ang daming kailangan gawin, pagdaanan, so yung one-stop shop, napakalaking bagay. And I think, FAP is here also when we talk about welfare. We also speak about yung we're currently pushing ang Filipino creatives protection. No? So, kailangan din po yan. But not only for protection, but also for upskilling. Kailangan din po ng mga tao natin yan. So, we hear you and we will get to that really as fast as we can, but in a way that is comprehensive. Yes, Direk. Yes, po.
Sir, Res Cortez and I, we probably have attended 90% of all the hearings in the Senate mula pa noong 2004, nung panahon ni Bong Revilla, hanggang sa committee ni Congressman Eric Pineda, sir, sa Film Commission. Sir, kumpleto kami ng records pare-pareho. Pero maniwala ka, sir, walang nangyayari.
Bakit, Direk? Ano kaya?
Bigyan kita halimbawa, sir, ito nakakatawa to, sir, 2004. Di nagkakaayos na, sir, sa committee level ni Bong Revilla. And then may tumakbo sa taas. Yung pinakikinggan, yung FPJ group, hindi kami. Kasi ito si Res Cortez, FPJ panahon ni Gloria yun, sir. So natigil, sir, pati yung hearing. Stop talaga. Totoo yan, sir. Hindi yan kwentong kutsero.
Okay. Nakaasa na ba si Kong Brian? Part siya na po ng committee na to. Baka makatulong siyang pampabilis po, sir. Anyway, but sige, it seems that under different political circumstance, if you're saying it's political, we will do our best to make sure na ipasa natin to. We will keep you in the loop. You've been invited for this. We will be having the hearing next. Lahat po ng members dito invited. We will make sure na marinig lahat at we'll have the strongest film commission bill that we can fast track. No? So, but thank you so much. I know we've been discussing for almost 2 hours, but and I'd love to hear for more of those. No, that's why we will be proposing a. If there's anyone else who wants to speak, yes, ma'am. Yes, po.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and good morning to all the distinguished attendees around the table. The Department of Foreign Affairs also wishes to register its gratitude for having been included in the discussion of these bills, and we register our general support for all of this, especially if we are able to come up with a consolidated bill and more streamlined one. I will just make 2 interventions. One is on the tax levy, the proposed 2 peso levy on cinema tickets. There are comparable frameworks like that of France, which charges 10.72%, and Argentina, which is 10%. Unfortunately, we do not have benchmarks for Southeast Asia, but the committee might want to study to review the proposed 2 peso levy, because that's not even 1% of the cost of today's standard cinema ticket. But we will leave it to the wisdom of Congress. We are not proposing any amount. On HB 384, we are glad that the Department of Foreign Affairs is recognized through its Philippine embassies and consulates and our ability to promote the film and television tourism and industry abroad. On the provision of multiple entry visas, the department's official position on the matter is presently under review by the Visa Division of the DFA Office of Consular Affairs. Until such time that we have an official determination, we will leave our position pending. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. And may I also request, if you have, for all of us here, if you have any more position papers or studies, as you mentioned, France, no, if you have even global comparisons, please submit it to the committee in preparation for the hearing for the film industry, and that will be for enhancing support and really for the Film Commission mapasa. So, thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Rep. Shirley.
Just to support the plea of our good director here, may I suggest that you really work hard on it so that we get to pass this on third and final reading before the year ends, if possible earlier, so that naabot po siya sa Senate. There would be ample time for the deliberation in the Senate as well.
Yes, Rep. Shirley, well taken.
And
It's,
hopefully,
ito yung priority natin.
let's get it passed in
Yes.
the 20th Congress, Mr. Chair,
Yes, let's
under
do
your
that.
leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rep. Shirley. And great, so yes, DG Villaluna.
Mr. Chair, if I can address Director Remo, just to address the concern on welfare, we're actually meeting on Wednesday with Ma'am Boots to finalize the welfare program. So definitely within the month we'll be activating our welfare for all the workers, provided they register and they're vetted as workers.
Yes, Ma'am Villaluna.
Also pending the legislation, we're also beefing up our efforts to make sure that we have at least a one-stop shop. So we're coordinating with all, as mentioned by Attorney Cañaveral, we are coordinating with other government agencies, and recently we just signed JMC with the ILG so that we have a streamlined process for getting film permits. So it was signed last January. We're currently doing our cascading to all LGUs and production companies as well. We're on the second TWG for the one-stop shop. Members of those are the members of BOT under the FESO office.
And ma'am, I think what was said is strengthen ang coordination. And when we do discuss about the Film Commission, sana yung mandate ma-expand na rin para mas maging streamlined. I think Sir Rez and Direk, no, yung po yung actually yung meat nun eh. How can we have a person to coordinate, and yung coordinating person or coordinator, merong mandate within, kung film, sana may authority siyang talagang tumawag at mag-asikaso at tumulong po sa inyo, dahil yung sinabi niyo po, Hollywood na kaya international film na to, dapat maganda yung ating pag-market, dahil kung hindi maganda yung experience nila dito, baka hindi na sila bumalik. Baka sabihin din sa ibang production studios na nag-due diligence po sa atin, baka sabihin, wag na tayo dyan dahil mas maayos dito, mas okay incentives, mas magandang coordination. So, yeah, we feel that, and so we need, and I'm sure you understand where he's coming from. No? So, that's what we will do sa committee, and hopefully we can strengthen and expand that. No, yun talaga. Yes, sorry, Sir, Ma'am Shirley, yes po.
Mr. Chair, I'm
Shirley,
sorry, but
yeah.
I just can't help it, Mr. Chair. But I'm really wondering, because my seatmate here, Attorney Erica, mentioned that every year PAGCOR subsidized 30 films. Was that ever felt po?
What I meant po, Yes po. What I meant po was with the proposal dito sa bill, we support the subsidy of 30 films, but the source would be through the revenue share ng national government po.
Okay. Iklaro ko lang po, kaya mabuti yung klaro po kasi we're talking here fund. So, attorney, yung 30 film na support in a year, hindi pa po yun nag-materialize.
It's proposal pa po.
Proposal.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually,
Now I'm
ano po yun,
clarified.
yung part po ng bill is for PAGCOR within yung sa pag-push for the Film Commission na yung allocation for funding will come from the PAGCOR, no? So, and yung sabi po ni attorney is yung sa 50% share ng government dun kunin.
Yes po, Mr.
Pero
Chair.
akala ko nagsasabi na po kayo, nagsusupport na yung PAGCOR will fund for that. Pwede rin, no? Discuss po natin yan.
Kasi if that would
Diba,
be the case,
naturally, baka-
malaking tulong talaga sa industriya
so,
yun.
sige, pag-usapan natin yan.
Thank
Dahil
you.
baka hindi 30, baka fewer, pero kung willing po kayo, sabi niyo, nagsusupport na kayo, baka pwede tayong di ba? Yes, Sir Rez po.
About the film workers, we're considered informal sector. We are considered as contractual, independent workers. So, maraming mga benefits or incentives ng mga workers sa formal sector na hindi kami kasali. I'm talking about SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, and other benefits from the government. That's why yung Mobile Fund is filling that gap at mabuti nga ang Film Academy ngayon ay magbibigay ng pondo para sa welfare program nila at ang mag-implement yan ay ang Mobile Fund. So sana dito sa Film Commission, makorek na yung status ng mga film workers. Hindi kami itsapwera dun sa mga formal sectors na nagbe-benefit dito sa ating labor law na somehow na-rationalize na yan sa ILO before. Kaya kahit na one day ka lang nagtrabaho, established na yung employer-employee relationship. So, hindi ko alam kung paano makukorek yan with the passing of the Film Commission. Baka naman makonsider na yung ILO, yung pagtingin nila sa mga independent workers. So, yun lang. Anyway, wala pa naman yung final consolidated bill at sana makasama doon yung welfare ng mga movie workers.
Okay po. Sir Rez, well taken. We will see kung pwedeng ilagay doon pa sa Film Commission. Pero we prioritize the filing, which we filed already. Sa start pa ng Congress, it's a Creative Freelancers Protection Act. No, so that's really to protect those in the informal sector with the definition which was already presented by the PCIDA. So as creatives. So with that, kasi we understand dahil yung sinasabi po ng iba, hindi po na babayaran on time, minsan hindi po na babayaran at all, tapos syempre may mga additional work na hindi part ng scope. May narinig po nga kami na photographer sa isang wedding, hindi pinakain, binura lahat ng photos. No, so may mga ganyan mga nangyayari. So understand, lagay po natin diyan. If actually I don't mean to pero sabihin ko lang dahil nasa committee po ni Chair Jolo Revilla. So nagpasa sila ng Filipino freelancers. Pero sabi ko, ang nangyari po kasi diyan, sinabi sa akin ni Kong Tof nung when it went to the Senate, hindi pinasa for whatever reason. So yung another plan is to make creative freelancers para mas specify under the PCIDA Act na yung mga creatives lagyan natin ng protection para hindi ganun ka-broad. Kasi baka matigil po sa Senate for, I don't know, nangyari po last time. So we're hoping for the two-pronged approach na pass natin yung Filipino freelancers, pero pasa din natin yung creative freelancers. Baka yun yung makalusot. No? So, but if this will be folded into the Philippine Commission, we will look into it. We will look into it. But certainly yung protection ng creative freelancers, top of mind po yan natin. Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes po. Mr. Chair, I would just like to respond to the about the Coron, because
Okay. Yes.
I have been with them at those Bearns and Sawyer, and I have helped them in the location shoot, and we have talked to the mayors about this, the governor, and we have talked to the local tourism establishments to provide them with free rooms while they are there. So I don't know kung ano, but maybe there are incidents, but perhaps coordination with us will have helped. If there are problems regarding transportation, we are friends with Department of Tourism, our best buddies with our airlines, and they can also provide us with special assistance if needed. But at the same time, we would like to assure that FDCP and the Department of Tourism are always here in case there are needs in the locals.
Sige, Director Alabado, thank you so much for that. So you requested them to give free, but anyway. Sige, baka, sige, Direk, maybe hear from you also.
Yun nga yung issue. Kami yung dapat pupunta sa DOT or FDCP or ganyan. Kami yung iikot. Walang one-stop shop na yun lang ang kausap. Susuporta syempre pag nilapitan namin ng DOT, makakabigay ng discount sa amin sa accommodation, sa airfare, etc. Pero yun nga yung issue, sir. Bakit kami ang pupunta sa DOT? Walang film commission na siyang tutulong sa amin, na siyang magko-coordinate sa DOT. Kami yung nagko-coordinate.
Sige. Okay, Derek, I think ang mangyayari is dapat yung one-stop shop, may coordinator na mismo mag-initiate, magbabantay sa lahat ng especially international films, which, sige, baka ang mangyayari after nito, mag-usap na lang po kayo. FDCP, DOT, specifically this, and Direct, Sir Rez, dahil may mga nuances yata sa, if we will make this a committee meeting about, we go down that rabbit hole, baka if I may request, after nito, mag-usap po kayo after the meeting, but we will take that into consideration as for the hearing and strengthening the Film Commission, na baka meron talagang designated na dapat yun nga yung gobyerno in general dapat lumapit din to make sure it's easier for everyone Experience talaga yung pinaka-importante the way I see it. Kasi yung experience na yun, yung makapagtulong sa branding marketing natin for other production studios. So yun na lang po. So yes, anyone else? Rep Shirley?
Or, Mr. Chair, merong isang opisina or one-stop shop na pupuntahan.
Yes, which is the
Para
film,
alam kung
film
saan
commission
pupunta.
dapat. Yes po. Agree. Yes, Rep Fernandez.
Mr. Chair, of course, while we're still creating this act, this measure, at mas fine pa natin, fine-tune, maybe the Office of the Film and Sports Tourism can act like of course, in coordination with FTCP and everybody here, as a transitory office. So, ganun naman talaga, no?
Yeah.
So, kasi syempre, it might take not a while. Again, we were here, I think it's different this time, this Congress. I would say, we are, the reason that the chair keeps talking about how even ASEAN governments have positioned themselves as global filming locations, and that's where we're after. And we're in one with him. Kaya po, talagang we are not just promising, but we are acting on it, at making sure na may harmonized, defined interagency coordination for films or TV industry, and as well as defined, yun nga, yung mga taxes, incentives, as well as a home. Mayroong bahay talaga ang Film Commission. And so, kung yun naman po pa nangyayari, maybe better, mas malalim na pakikipag-ugnayan po sa mga organisasyon na ito na kailangan po talaga ng pag-aalaga ninyo. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Rep. Hernandez. With that, sino ba yung dapat first point of contact? Tsaka sino ba yung dapat follow up, or at least, oy, kamusta na kayo? Mga ganyan, diba? Kasi that's also making their lives easier.
Right now po, it's Film Philippines Office under FDCP. So, yung mga foreign production, normally talaga, and local, normally sa FDCP talaga. But dahil wala ngang one-stop shop, so sa amin sila unang humingi ng endorsement that we forward to DOT, to immigration, to customs, and other government agencies. Nagkataon lang kasi dahil nga maraming members yung BOT ng FESO, and hindi pa nila ganun ka-priority yung film. So, before, hindi talaga siya pinapansin. Recently lang nag-convene yung board, and so far naman regular na yung convening, kaya mas ma-assist na rin po namin yung mga local and foreign producers.
Nako ma'am, with that, what you said, kasalanan po ng gobyerno yun. No offense. Pero it seems that we have to strengthen that coordination. Kaya po, we're hearing these, I'm sure, baka hindi lang po kayo yung Mr. Rez or Direk ang nahirapan with the coordination. No? So baka kailangan mas focus and expanded yung mandate na talagang hindi lang baka kung kailan na yung meeting na yan, talagang yung point person na yan, talagang may mandate na talagang makapag-focus yan. So, sige, that will all be part with the strengthening of the Phil Commission. But in the meantime, I agree with Rep. Hernandez. Sana mas maging focus, especially narinig na po natin. So sana ma-address na right after this meeting. Okay? Anyone else? Yeah, Mr. Rez. Yes, sir.
Okay, isang maiksi lang. Sana, Mr. Chair, ma-invite dito yung ibang stakeholders, especially yung mga suppliers. I'm talking about yung mga equipment provider. Kasi yung mga foreign production ngayon, dati, nagdadala sila from abroad or from the US ng mga equipments. Sa ngayon, hindi na sila nagdadala kasi we have a supplier for mga equipments na kailangan nila. I'm talking about, example, CMB or RS Video or other suppliers. Sana ma-invite din sila sa next hearing. Kasi sila yung nasa ground at alam nila kung ano yung takbo at ano yung relationship ng mga foreign productions. Not only Hollywood, pati European, nagsushoot dito, sila ang nakakaalam kung ano ang gusto at ano ang problema. At anong kailangan.
Okay, sir, thank you. Well taken, po. We will invite the equipment suppliers on the next, for the hearing. No? Okay. Anyone else? So it seems that there are none as of this moment. Lapit na rin mag-12, but I'd love to keep this going. But again, I'd like to thank everyone for being part of this, mga representatives, distinguished members, of course, the resource persons for a productive discussion. So from today's deliberations, it seems that personally, I think it gives a framing for how we will get the next meeting and possibly the hearing for the Film Commission. Evident that there are overlapping institutional proposals regarding the creation of the Philippine Film Commission. There are also provisions that we need to discuss about the incentives, tourism integration, and economic positioning. There's a broad agreement on the need to enhance competitiveness while preserving cultural integrity. So we note all of this. And I do want to sponsor this resolution directing the appropriate committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the measures needed to strengthen support for the film industry, specifically about the creation of the Film Commission. So, distinguished colleagues, I rise to sponsor this House Resolution number 407. Article 6, Section 21 of the Constitution empowers this House to conduct inquiries in aid of legislation. And today we are confronted with that sobering reality. So, This inquiry will examine the barriers confronting local producers, the effectiveness of existing support mechanisms, the competitiveness of Philippine incentives compared to regional peers, and policy reforms necessary to ensure sustainable growth. So this inquiry will guide future legislation, whether in film incentives, tourism integration, industry consolidation, or institutional strengthening. So as we are serious about positioning the Philippines as a filmmaking hub in Asia, and hopefully even globally, then we must firsthand understand clearly and comprehensively the challenges facing our industry. So through this resolution, we initiate that process. So may I now solicit a motion to approve this resolution so that we can get into the public hearing for this?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you for this resolution. On behalf of the sponsor chairman, I move to adopt House Resolution number 407.
Thank you so much. So thank you again for your insightful insights. The committee will consider them and hopefully draft the new measures that will address the issues raised within this meeting. Again, we will fast track a way to get to the public hearing right away on the formal inquiry to invite our relevant stakeholders from the film industry to present their respective views and recommendations to the matter. So the schedule and venue will be announced as soon as they are finalized to give our resource persons adequate time to prepare. Are there any other matters that the body wishes to take up? There being no other matters to discuss, do I hear a motion to adjourn? So we need to approve sa last meeting. Okay. Okay. So wala dito. Pero okay lang. Maybe request for approval of the committee report that we will use this, what we discussed for the hearing. Maybe request for a motion for that.
May move for the approval of the said committee report and for the integration as well of all that have been discussed during this hearing.
Thank you so much.
I so move, Mr. Chair. And I also move that all the members present be included as co-authors of the said measure.
Second.
Okay, thank you so much, Rep. Shirley and Rep. Hernandez. So, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move for the adjournment, Mr. Chair.
Okay, there being no objections, this meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you.